Testing audio, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Testing
Yep,
audio.
we are live now. All right, welcome to the show. This is Bonavest. I'm going to be your host today, and today we've got four special Bitcoin traders here to share with you the price action going on in the market right now over the past week. Kind of do a little quick recap of what's been happening, but then also set you up for the outlook for this coming week to get you going. So it's Monday. Got plenty of time to talk about what's going to be happening later on with the price. And with me today we have Flibber. We've got Sonny BTC, and we also have BTC Vicks and Arthur with BitMEX. Welcome, guys, and thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
So today, let's get things rolling here. Flibber, you got a little bit of a market recap for us that we can take a listen to. What are your thoughts? What's going on?
Yeah, can you hear my audio okay? Is that alright?
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Let me just, can you come back to me in a second? Because I've literally only just got the computer fired back up, so I'm just loading the charts up.
All right, so, hey, Sonny BTC, how about you? You want to start us off?
Yeah, go on then, can do. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I've not been following Bitcoin as closely as a lot of the guys have been recently, but I'll start off with the weekly chart. And at the moment, what I'm looking at, sorry, that's Euro USD. I'll start with a Bitcoin one. What I'm looking at is the MACD, which is forming a nice little bowl at the bottom there. We've got a stochastic which is turned up. We've got some EMAs and stuff which are semi-green, semi-yellow sort of. So I think that there is a chance that we're going to start challenging some of those in the weekly, and actually start getting above them, like the ATMA just at the bottom there. I think that we can just go to the main charts, and I've got to have to forgive the.
I see the moon. Yeah, I see the moon.
There is the moon, but there's a lot of pain in the middle as well, and there's a lot of time as well. So this is the 3-day chart of Bitstamp. Hopefully, no one's bothered by the fact that I'm using Bitstamp because.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So, where are you? Why are you following Bitstamp? What makes you want to follow the price action there?
Well, the thing is that OK Coin's great, and that's what I actually chart. But problem is that no one understands. You have to do the conversion in your head and all that. So I thought I'd get something with USD, and Finex is just an absolute mess. If you pull up like a weekly chart of Finex, the wicks are just horrendous. So I just thought stick with something that everyone can use, even though it's not very liquid at the moment. So what I've concluded is, I mean, I'm not sure if any of you guys follow Elliott Wave, but I'd like to use it. I'm not going to go through the details of what kind of formation this is and stuff, but essentially there's a 5-wave down structure. So that was for the high up 1200, pulled down to this first wave, second wave up, third wave to the downside, which was formed the lows down at 150s. We're currently in the phase of building wave 4, as my understanding, and a couple of the Elliott Wave guys like that I follow, like Dan V, for example, he's on the same page as me as well. And so we're building wave 4 here. So essentially, I mean, I'll go into more detail on the next chart, but my thoughts are that we're probably going to form a bottom around the end of June. And that coincides with the new quarterly contract releases. And I think we'll probably form a subsequent top round about September for the next quarterly release. I don't know. I mean, this is something that I've been tracking, and it seems to flow with that futures contract release. So the next chart I've got is the daily of Bitstamp. As you can see, there's a super strong spider crusher dynamic resistance level just at that zone there, around about 310. That's a 52-week resistance that we've got there. So it's the only one we've actually got in existence since the lows down here. So it's quite a powerful resistance that we've got up there. So I don't anticipate that we're going to actually challenge that in the short term. I think what's probably going to happen is we've got to complete the wave 4 flag that we're building here. we've currently completed a wave A up to the top there. We've pulled back. This entire structure here from the top down to the bottom up there down to here is wave B, and now we're going to complete final wave C, but not until, sorry, we've yet to finish wave B here.
So for this week, Sonny, is that wave B going to finish this week, or is that wave B continuing further past this week?
I think wave B is going to take us into. I think wave B is going to take us into sort of the end of this month.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate the information there. Those of you that are trading now, you've got a little bit of an insight. Let's go on to our next person here. We've got, I guess, Vicks. Are you ready there?
Unless Flibber's ready. Flibber, are you ready now?
Yeah, I mean, I can be ready unless you want to go with me. It's fine. I don't mind.
Go ahead, Flibber.
Okay,
go.
sure.
You
Let
got
me
the
just
floor,
pull
Flipper.
the. Let me just put the screen on screen share. I might lag a little bit, so bear with me. Okay. Is that okay?
By the way, if you guys want to join the rest of the conversation after the show here, be sure to download TeamSpeak, or if you already have it, join us on ts.whaleclub.io. We've got probably about 100 people in there at any given time, 24/7. Always some conversation, sometimes not always about Bitcoin. So make sure you join us there and continue on after the show and discuss that with some of our guys that hang out in there. Right now, let's take a look at what Flibber's got here.
Okay, that loaded up okay, is it? Yeah?
Yep.
Yep, looks good.
Cool. Okay, well, this is the weekly chart. And basically, the green stripes going down and the red stripes going down, if you can see those, is the it's just an indicator on the Bollinger Band width. Basically, green means the price is above the median, so likely to break out to the upside. Red, obviously, good chance it should break to the downside. So basically, right now we're under the median, but kind of like you do go red under the median before we're going to pop up, I think, like 260, and we're going to be above the median, which is also a monthly resistance level. But we also have like a couple of, I don't know if you can see those, I've circled them to highlight them out. They're weekly blue candles on Spider Crusher, and those basically every time you get one of those, you are looking at least a $50 move. And with this weekly squeeze coming out, I mean, if we break to the upside here, this could be really good. This could be huge right now, because we actually have like you can see like these weekly ones here. These kind of like these generated like most of these big rallies, these blue ones. And a nice one here that kind of kicked things off. I know I'm probably lagging, but
And actually, if you want to
zoom
in a little bit right there at the tip, just to see the colors there at the very end there, if you want to zoom into those last few candles.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to do that, yeah, on these ones. But the weekly Willy as well, which is this indicator at the bottom, he's kind of like he's on his way up, and it never gets to the full force to the very last bit. Anyway, so we're kind of like putting in this kind of like, to me it's like a double bottom, like a real nice W shape on this 215, 220 kind of support level. So I'm kind of liking this as a W formation on the weekly. We've got the bluish, reversal candle. We have a squeeze. So I'm actually feeling incredibly bullish on the weekly right now. Really, really liking that. This is my weekly outlook. Let's
Awesome.
go daily. Daily, again, I mean, we've put in a beautiful kind of like W formation, right on support, right on this whatever this level is here, 215 support. So I like the look of that as well. Yeah, Willie's getting a little bit high on the daily, but I mean, if you look at where he is now, he's about here, which could be just kind of like here. There could be room to go up to this kind of 260 level. I'm definitely looking. This is definitely going to be a big level on the weekly as well. This 260 is quite a big level. You see loads of like horizontal support resistance on here. So yeah, so 260 is going to be good on the daily if we can make it up there. We're just fighting these weekly levels, 240 at the moment. So I'm hoping we are going to push there. Maybe we're going to continue to squeeze, which kind of like drags me down to the hourly, which is here. And you can see we're kind of like 1 hour Willie is kind of like bottoming right now. You can see it kind of did it here. Maybe it's going to do it here. Kind of similar formation. Go up, sell off, sideways, sideways, squeeze up again. Maybe here again. I mean, we have put in kind of M top, not the best. Sell off. Yeah, we might dip down again to maybe the support. Maybe we'll put in the head and shoulders, and we're gonna have another big sell off. I mean, but who wants to sell down at 220 anyway? You know, who wants a short sub 220 when the support's been so good? I don't want to. So hopefully we'll kind of like just continue to squeeze here, and hopefully, you know, push up again for that 260 level before sellers kind of get active again, hopefully. So that's it. Weekly, daily, hourly.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Sounds good, Flipper. Let's see who's up next. Vicks. What do you got for us, Vicks?
All right, here, let me see what I got. All right, so I actually have more of the bear leaning case, and Flipper and I are using the same charts, so you know, I don't want to go back over some of the longer term stuff, which I agree with him of, but I think shorter term there are some indications that you know, there's some cracks forming in this rally, and we should be concerned short term, especially if you're playing futures. I mean, you know, $5 to $10 moves can be pretty brutal if you're playing that kind of 20x leverage. So right now on my screen I have the 12 hour, and the 12 hour is now printed another pretty juicy pivot, and it's also a close under the trend line that we've been following up here since that 212 bottom on futures. But, you know, I have to give some respect to the the weekly dynamic level that we're sitting on top of right now. So this is quite a big inflection point for bulls and bears here. If we're able to break below this level, I'm looking at the 786 fib. I like that a lot better than the 61.8, which gets a lot of talk from the listed guys as far as fib retracements. But I always tend to find that Bitcoin tends to go deeper on those retracements. So that's the 12 hour, and then the next chart I want to look at is the 4 hour. Just give me a moment. Okay, so here's the other big case for the bear here is, as we can see on the bottom here with Willie, you know, we're on our way down here, and if we try and go up, it's going to be very difficult, and we're gonna basically backtest that trend line. So this is another big support for me that you know, the bulls are losing strength in this rally, and that you know, it's not only cautious here, but I'm certainly looking to short as a good short entry coming soon. So that's all I have. So.
And tell me, what is your idea of a bottom area? Where is it going to come back to? What is it pulling back to on those fibs? What was the price range for that?
Yeah, let me zoom out here. And yeah, actually, I'm looking at this the 786 level over here on 218. But you know, depending how long it takes to get down, I mean, we took approximately from 426 to today being 5/4. So what is that? 8 days. We've had an 8-day rally. We always take the stairs up and the elevator down. So if we would project out, you know, maybe 3 to 4 days here, you know, I could certainly see a poke down and to backtest this longer term trend line that we've been following from. Let me zoom out here. I think that was about the 300 level. Yeah, when we broke down from 300, we could very easily backtest, you know, this trend line, and that would coincide very nicely with that fib retracement. See a nice spike into this level, and then I'd be back on Flipper's side for taking along. A lot of those indicators would be reset again. So that's definitely. And if you kind of look now that I've zoomed out a bit, the angle of descent of this last rise has actually been pretty aggressive. So that's all I have.
Gotten it set up. All right, sounds good. Also, don't forget, this is a live show. You can ask questions in the future. I know right now is last minute get it set up, but don't forget to check out the Google Events page, and that's where you can see, where the lineup is at with the links to be able to get into the Hangout, as well as YouTube links. You can catch us there later. It's like a DVR. You can even back it up and watch from the beginning if you like, or you can keep up with us live. All right, so we've got 3 down. Let's go with saving the best for last. Arthur from BitMEX, you have the floor, sir.
Hi, everybody. So I'm not as much of a charting guy as everyone that you've just heard. I tend to look at more the aggregate level of margin and leverage in the system, and I use the Bitfinex margin lending book as my sort of pointer. Let me try to share my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So this is basically from BFX data, the sentiment graph, and it shows total number of US dollar swaps, Bitcoin swaps, and then the Bitcoin price. And what we can see here is starting in early March, late February, as the price started to rise a bit, the number of US dollar swaps increased quite dramatically. Went from about 17.5 million US to about 25.5 million US dollars. So about an addition of 8 million US dollars of swaps used to go long on leverage. And since that time, pretty much the price has flatlined, with some occasional peaks up to around 300, and then down to the recent low of around $214 on Bitfinex. And basically, I did some analysis on the structure of the book, and what it looks like is you have an average level of around $212 to $225 as where most people have a margin call who've gone long using this leverage. So I think if we continue to see the price slide, and if we go back down into the teens again, we could have a gap downward on a small trigger when the market finds that price where a significant number of people start having margin calls. I'm more of a bear in the short term because basically I don't see any sort of news or price action to indicate that people have gained the buying religion and it's going to take us back above 300. And the longer that these rallies sort of sputter in the $240 to $250 range, the more likelihood is that the continued downward pressure continues, and we find that that cathartic moment when all of a sudden we gap down $20 below 200. And that's basically my view, and I think that might happen within the next 2 weeks.
So you're saying possibly around 200 in the next 2 weeks?
Yes.
All right.
Can I step in there? Are we still? I haven't looked at the BFX data. We're still near all-time highs on USD and BTC swaps. Is that correct?
Yes, but we've added, in terms of the amount of added in the last sort of month with no price action, on the upside, the US dollar swaps look more precarious.
Sure. It seems like there's kind of like two, tectonic plates pushing against each other, and we're going to have a large move, and that seems pretty supportive of the other narrative of the Bollinger Band tightening that Flipper was going over earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's sort of a wait and see, and then it's going to be like January all over again, where I have 2-3 straight days of just absolute mayhem.
Oh well, I'd be up for that.
Me too.
I'm just waiting.
That's going to be great.
I'm just waiting for the 220 prediction there to happen, because if you've been listening to my Twitter feed, yeah, I'm Bonner wrecked or whatever, because I've been holding on to shorts from like 223. So yeah, I'll wait for the 220. I'd love that. Hey, Flipper, do you have something else for us?
Well, I mean, I was just talking about this bear case. I mean, come on, I mean, we have literally tried and tried and tried on 220, and every time what's happened is USD longs do not go down. USD longs stay exactly the same. Shorts keep going up. So there is cash buying 220 and cash supporting 220, and it's holding. So every single person that shorted sub 220 has got wrecked every time. So I don't want to sell 220. I don't want to sell sub 220. So I think personally we're going to go up. The W formation on the weekly, I think we're going up
Sounds
Good news
good.
everywhere as well.
The thing is, if we can take a nice little run up to above 300, 360, which is one of my targets for the wave C completion to complete wave 4, then I think we could like chuck an anvil off the side of the car and drag ourselves right down into the depths of sub 200. I think.
I mean, the other side is, Arthur, he's got a good background, good knowledge, respect everything he says. Vic's a bit of a chancer, but, Arthur, good stuff.
Hey, Vicks, can you pull up your screen one more time for us?
Yeah, hold on here. Let's see.
So we've got a couple of minutes here. At this point in the show, if there was some people watching on the event page, you can actually ask questions to the panelists and the guests here. Right now, we don't have any questions, so we're going to just take one more look. I just want to point one thing out on Vic's screen here. I was just curious, Vicks, can you fit another tab in your browser there? Or let error out for you?
I don't think so. But if you think mine's bad, you should see Sonel. I mean,
I think if you hit Control Shift Escape, all you would see under your processes is Chrome.
I mean, just a little bit of a macro view. I know we were discussing this before we came on, but the DXY has been, weak as of, the last, 4 to 8 days. If we just back out here to 12 hour.
More bullish talk, I like it.
Yeah, so there is some support to be had there. As far as the dollar isn't going parabolic as it had been in the past. So, I mean, if we just rewind very quickly, I don't want to take up much time with bringing in something other than Bitcoin, but, we can see this rise as I zoom in here. The January push was quite massive right in this area here. So, I mean, can we get that again? Yeah. I mean, I look for maybe more of consolidation in the dollar than a continued push up, at least near term.
It's a nice M top. So M top breaking a VMA support. Good for Bitcoin.
Well, we got about 3 more minutes here, guys. Any other final thoughts or words? Any information you wanted to kick out?
Arthur, do you have anything?
No, I think that people should, look at margin levels, margin debt, both Bitcoin and dollar, and someone's going to try for a level either on the upside or the downside. And if you kind of figure where that out is with a rough approximation, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree with that, Arthur. Watch the BFX level, margin levels. 100% with you.
All right, great. Well, thanks for joining the show. Those of you that are watching live, I appreciate it. We've got 25 viewers right now, and thanks for each and every one of you joining us. This will be a weekly show. We'll try to do that every Monday evening, 8 p.m. -6 GMT or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to be your host, Bonavest. Thanks to the guests, all of you guys in here, giving your thoughts and helping everybody kind of get their direction for the week. And don't forget to join us on right here on ts.whaleclub.io. Us and about 100 other traders. How many Vicks? How many are in that TeamSpeak right now?
I think there's 150, 153.
150. Now, granted, they're not all talking at the same time, so it's not that bad. But anytime any news pops up or people have something to talk about, hey, you're going to be the first to know with a bunch of people in there. So join us there. Go check it out. All right, thanks, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye now.